There's an inner doorway that people who have a predispensation to take the various columbated re-architectures that bring them to the precipice of destiny, they focus on in the internecine interstitials in between the ways that you have octopuses and you have sleight of hand artists that appear on streets, or they appear subterranean or sublingual, because sometimes something that you hold under your tongue can become a parent, or it can become the thing that descends from you and not necessarily a descendant, because things that come from actions of yours have been generated by you, although they may not be children. And like children, they can bite you, or they can become the sorts of recriminations that when angels and when fallopian tubes were met in a kind of battlefield of dismay, anyone who was going to take apart tiny little bric-a-brac obsequiousnesses didn't have time for lunch. And I don't have any kind of insight into the machinations of such and such deliberate regurgitators of the symphonies that they've collected in every little crevice of their memory. When the inward-looking soul takes upon itself a kind of aspect of reality that when it is plundered and plunged with the kind of perspicacity that is only really found in the intertwined architectures of symbolism and of Manet and Monet, and in the times that people who swum between these similar sibilances can't reveal what they have sought and can't reveal what they have thought, and sometimes there's an accordion-like refalbitration of the hospices and the centers of learning and the centers of death, which I think if you call something that germinates the progressions of yesterday into a kind of aspirational Hatshepsut, if you take those things and you dissemble them into a kind of mound of various parts of, nasal tissues and the other end that we don't want to mention because it has another word that sounds like nasal but isn't nasal in it. And these people that kind of try the things that will approach from both ends, and if you could meet in the middle, which of course you can't, but if you could, you would have the center of a simultaneous germination, desperation, desolation, and death, and that would be the nexus at which eventualities that were planned far, 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 far long ago from here, those eventualities, when they were planned, if that nexus had a taste, if it was fungible, if that could become the parent to which every innocent individual that takes their inheritance from the magazines and the scriptures, and some people say that when you have a celluloid individual, you can never have individual regrets. You can never take the parts of a yesterday that was sad and assemble them into the wheelchair that people who like fragrant fruits admire. In the days that the soulful, and in the days that the hopeful, and in the days that there is a caressing of mutton and there is a progression, and we have talked about a progression from the things that one aspires to and the things that one's collecting in the way that a lazy Susan has pockets for flamboyance and pockets for innocent dalliances that people say, oh, today I'll eat bar mitzvah and tomorrow I'll eat a spouse. Like, those things aren't the things that, when collated in an organization that allows you to say, I will pick that determination, I will pick that, remembered ambrosia. People who see these things every day, and the people who take them apart, and the people who want to be their, not intimates, but their boneyards of intimates, and the kind of various graveyards that we put our feet in and that we wiggle our toes in when we talk about the hallowed, and when we talk about the sane, and when we talk about the filthy, and when we talk about the egret. These things collide, but it's not a collision that produces, refraction, or a collision that produces the sifting of digits and minimalization. It's a collision that, when it is anticipated from a pre-diagnosed rhombia, will not allow the crenellations of a continent that some people wish for and some people denigrate and some people would like to trace like an Etch-a-Sketch so that they could have it and keep it in their car. Comments welcome.